So, with a speech entitled 3,000 Feet of Fear, please welcome Ruben.
In 1995, my friend Steve Irvin and I decided we were going to go and climb the world's most famous rock climbing route. This route is the Nose in Yosemite Valley in California. It's famous because it's 3,000 feet high. El Capitan, the grey granite monolith that the route goes right up the centre of. We talked about it in various smoky Sheffield bars for years, and then one day we said, we're going to go and do it. Up to that point, it was just talk. And then one day, back one morning, 2 AM in the morning, we were suddenly in the car, driving to it, and there it was. You couldn't really see it because it's pitch dark, but we knew it was there because we sensed it. I can remember that morning very clearly. Walked through the lush Yosemite meadows, up through the scented pine woods, and suddenly, stretching up to the stars, is the crag, or the cliff of El Capitan, the granite going up 3,000 feet, an awesome, fear-inducing sight. Luckily we could only see the stars in the first 100 feet or so. I thought, take some photographs. Camera out, flash, flash, flash again. And there we are, looking back at photos just yesterday. Captured in our garish clothes, big sunburned faces, excited smiles. You can probably imagine how excited you'd be, but also quite fearful. An animal growls in the distance. No idea what it is because there are bears in Yosemite. So we set off, afraid and excited, up into the unknown in the dark. Later, it's midday. It's anything but dark, and we're baking up in the desert, the vertical desert of golden granite, sweating. I won't say what we were sweating exactly like, but we were sweating. We'd only taken 2 litres of water with us to travel light and fast. This was proving to be a bit of a minor disaster since it was only nearly 12 o'clock and we drunk most of it. We were also only maybe 800 feet up. I was also sweating because I was afraid. I was about to do what's known as a pendulum, where you tie the rope high up and run across the cliff, not using your hands at all, as fast as you can, sideways, tensioning off the rope in a big arc, jumping to grab something out to the side. The thing I was aiming for was the stone legs crack. It's a crack about 2 inches wide. Goes right up the granite, which is almost unblemished. It's granite, like nothing you see in this country. It looks like it's been hit by an almighty axe or a knife. And I managed to catch it, get my hands stuffed into the crack, release the slack, Steve, and then off, up the 200 feet of the crack. Quite easy, it's perfect in fact, jam after jam, perfect climbing, fearsome to have gone. At the top of the stone legs crack, look at my arms, there's chalk from the tips of my fingers right up to about here. We normally use chalk in climbing just to stop the sweat on your palms, and it was up to here. But most of the sweat had gone, but what was showing up was blood coming out from all the great gouges out of my hands, swelling up in little sort of globules of blood, sort of dripping off onto the rock like little rubies stuck on the rock. Quite painful. And we were only a quarter of the way up at this point, and I already felt like someone had smashed my hands in a vice. It was really quite hard work. Halfway up the climb, later in the day, got to another fearful thing, Texas flake. Texas flake is a big piece of rock, like a piece of orange rind that's peeled off an enormous orange, just got peeled away from it, but still stuck to the cliff. And I've got to climb up the bit in between. It's maybe 50 feet as high as that building over there, perhaps, nearly. And there's nothing on it at all. There's just that wall and that wall. Shimmying up like this. It's easy, the first 10 feet, getting heart's beating. Brain pounding. Was it my brain pounding or my heart pounding? I can't remember. My lips were dry and tasted of blood. And suddenly I'm halfway and I'm really sweating, because if I fall off, I'm going to go all the way down this slowly narrowing crack and get jammed in irretrievably at the bottom. Steve struggling to pull me back out. So I inch my way up. get to the top, the sort of pinnacle that comes to a point, grab hold of it, swing around like sort of Spider-Man, straddle it. We're a big sigh of relief because I'm 50 feet up with no gear, and no holds of protection or anything. I'm really been quite scared. And I'm sitting there sort of shaking on this wobbly flake. One leg in the dark and the cool with the crack below, the other one baking. 1,500 feet of fresh air, Yosemite air blowing up in the valley up my trouser leg. Lucky, cooling me down. And obviously we travelled further and further up, and seemingly more and more impossible obstacles. The next one we found was in the evening, was that night. It was a great roof. It's actually known as the Great Roof. It's a massive, maybe 30 feet sticking out, 60-foot wide roof. Acts like a giant sundial during the day to see time almost by where the shadow has moved along the cliff below. And we were doing it at night. And there's no holes on that either. It's one piece of granite that comes up, stops, goes to 90 degrees and comes out. And the only weakness on it is a hairline crack, not even big enough for your fingers. Well, luckily, people have been climbing this route for 30 years, and all the way along, little old bits of climbing memorabilia, pegs and bits of tape, maybe old wires, and all rusting away, water dripping off them, and we were doing it at night. Well, actually, Steve was doing it at night. I was watching, safely belaying. Off Steve goes, little patch of golden light from his head torch. Can't see his feet or anything, he's doing it all by feel. Swinging from one bit to the next bit, hoping it's not going to snap. About 2 o'clock in the morning by this point, we'll be going through 24 hours. Eventually makes it, we're safe past another obstacle. I breathe a big sigh of relief and boldly follow him across, conveniently forgetting there's now about 2,000 feet of fresh air underneath me. I couldn't see it, so it didn't really matter. Following day, it's another blazing hot day again. We've long since run out of water and we're both severely dehydrated. Steve's actually started to hallucinate. He's in extreme pain. He can almost not stand up on the few holds that there are. He's actually got his shoes and all these this sort of light brownish colour, and now they're red because blood has started seeping out from his toes. And every time he puts his foot against a rock, he's bleeding, he's in pain. He's hallucinating. You can see a fog around him, a grey mist, and it's not there. And you can see a sort of devil-like goat peering over the top of him, and that's not there either. It's actually a bit of rubbish flapping at the top from the summit. So he gets to the top eventually with me shouting encouragement, "Go on, Steve, you're just hallucinating." Tops out and we finish the route. I did that maybe 12 years ago, that route, and I still remember it. It's one of the most exciting 36 hours I've ever lived, and probably the most fearful and stressful experience I've ever had. I never climbed another big wall after that. That one was enough for a lifetime, I think. We haven't actually managed to be the first British team to climb it in a day. It took us a day and a half, which is pretty good because most people take up to 5 days to do it. But we had travelled across the world with a plan and achieved that. We had done the route the nose, and we had, most importantly all, climbed and experienced for ourselves the most famous and enjoyable climbing route in the whole world.